Hello, English 10 students. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Chapter 3 of Mice and Men. All right, so let's start off with another allusion to Of Mice and Men. This one is from Friends.
Hey! Hey! I got you something. Open it! Open it!
Okay. It's a chicken.
It's cute, huh?
Whoa, you guys, do you know anything about chicks?
Fowl? No. Women? No.
Okay, well, they are a huge responsibility, especially at this age. They require constant care. They need just the right food and lots of love.
Oh, well, no problem.
Easy, Lenny.
Okay, so of course that was Joey being referred to as Lenny because he was snuggling up on that little chickie. All right, so let's take a look at question number 16. The first part of it, anyways. It says that George reveals two very important things about his past to Slim on pages 40 to 43. So what does George share with Slim about what happened in Weed? Well, George actually shares a lot of things with Slim in this section. Um, George shares about his history with Lenny, about Aunt Clara, about how he used to bully Lenny. And then he also shares with him about the incident that happened in Weed with the woman in the red dress, how Lenny had seen the woman in the red dress, how he was attracted to the red dress, and how he grabbed it, how the woman had become scared and made the assumption that Lenny was trying to rape her. Um, and so, of course, during this time period, that would have led to torches and pitchforks, and George and Lenny were literally hiding in a drainage ditch overnight, waiting for things to kind of cool down a little bit so that they could leave. And George actually shared all of this with Slim. What does this conversation reveal about George's past treatment of Lenny? So I mentioned just a smidge earlier that George used to bully Lenny. George used to play jokes on him. He used to think it was funny because Lenny would do literally anything he's asked. George one time asked Lenny to jump into a river or into a creek or something, I can't remember exactly, or a lake. And so even though Lenny couldn't swim, he jumped in because George told him to. And then, of course, so George rescues him, and Lenny was so grateful to George for rescuing him that he didn't even pay attention to the fact that it was George who had told him to jump in the first place. And that was kind of an eye-opening moment for George, I think, in that he realized how responsible he was for Lenny and realizing that, Lenny looked up to him and that he owed it to Lenny to treat him better. And the final part of question 16, how has George and Lenny's relationship changed as a result of their time together? So George no longer bullies Lenny. George feels responsible for Lenny and feels the need to take care of him now instead of picking on him. On and talk a bit more about chapter 3. Here's another allusion.
She is a pyramid, but with him she's just a grain of sand. This love's too strong, like mice and men, squeezing out the life that should be lit in.
All right. So, question number 17 says, these here jailbaits is just set on the trigger of the hoosgow. That's from page 55, which is most likely to be the meaning of the word hoosgow. Okay, so in order to figure that out, we have to break down some of these words here. And so it says these here jailbaits, and I don't know if you know the term jailbait or not, but this was a term that was still used when I was in school. And unfortunately, it refers to a young woman or sometimes a married woman. But in my time, it was always a young woman who is basically baiting older men into getting into trouble by being sexually promiscuous with them. And so that is what this term means at this time. And so in this time period, it wasn't just younger women. It was a married woman or a woman of a different race or a different social class or anything like that. So these here jailbaits is just set on the trigger of the hoosgow. And so in this instance, hoosgow is most likely to be a reference to like jail or prison or something like that. All right. What comparisons does Candy make between his own condition and his dog's on page 59 and 60? And so I've pulled the quote there that says, "When they can me, I wished somebody'd shoot me." And that's kind of the comparison that Candy makes between himself and his dog. Um, because his dog is a dog, when he is no longer useful, they can kind of put him down. But Candy, when he is no longer useful, he's going to be out of a job. He's going to be out of work. He's going to be put on the county, which basically means he'll be put in a room with a bed, given like basic food and water until he dies of old age. And he's not going to be cared for. He's not going to be thriving. This is not like our time where we care for our elderly as much as we can, or, where we're learning to do this. This is a dog eat dog world here in the 1930s. And so when a person could no longer take care of themselves or they had no one who was willing to take care of them, like that's it. You're done. You have no other options. And so, yeah, Candy was saying that he wishes that someone would treat him like his dog and just kind of put him out of his misery when he can't care for himself anymore, which is a really sad thought. Right, number 19 says one of the themes of this novella deals with dreams and dreamers. At this point in the novella, is George's dream of the farm realistic? And so I've pulled a quote from Langston Hughes, or a poem actually from Langston Hughes called Dreams. And it says, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken, winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow." So this is actually an opinion question. At this point in the novella, is George's dream of the farm realistic? Personally, I think his dream seems very realistic at this point in the novel, in the novella. Um, they are working towards it. Everything has been going positively so far since they've gotten to the ranch for the most part. And I mean, to me, things seem like they are very, very possible. It's definitely the dream has been a driving force for them, keeping them moving forward. Question number 20. What is one event that happens in chapter 3 that was foreshadowed in chapter 1 or 2? There is so much foreshadowing in this, you guys. At the point when Lenny's like, "This place is mean. I don't want to stay here anymore." When George tells Lenny to stay away from Curly. Um, when they say Curly's wife's going to get him into trouble, it just repeats over and over and over again. All of these things are letting us know that something bad could happen later on. And so I've pulled a few examples of foreshadowing from some of my favorite Disney movies. And so from Finding Nemo, it's when Nemo's dad says, "I promise I will never let anything happen to you." Okay, well, obviously something was going to happen. And then from Coco, "I'm going to play in the Mariachi Plaza if it kills me." He literally has to die in order to play in the Mariachi Plaza, even though he's not technically really dead. He has to go to the land of the dead. All right, so next tasks are to read chapter 4 and to make sure that you are staying on top of your guided reading questions, your character tables, and your vocab notes. All right, I will see you all for chapter 4.